Hi guys, it's Amy from Quintessence here. I thought I would pop on and say hi to you all. And firstly to say a huge big thank you to you all for the wonderful positive feedback, the encouragement that I received for the video I posted the other day. And also so many of you were able to relate, identify, and kind of put your hands up and go, yeah, me too, I get that, I resonate with that, that makes sense to me. So I thought I would come on today and talk to you a little bit more about what you might be actually experiencing with these energies at the moment. So we are almost like little ships at the moment, kind of being tossed around in the sea. You can imagine a big, thick, foggy storm, just this little ship being tossed around on these big waves. The searchlight might be out, kind of looking for a way out, but the way out is yet unclear. So that would kind of give you a little bit maybe of an idea of how many of us are feeling. And that is on a physical level. That's very much in our real here and now time world. With everything that's going on, but also on an energetic level, behind the scenes, everything that we can't see. It's kind of hitting us on all levels at the moment. For those of you that did watch the previous video, you will have heard me really talk about how we're in a kind of heavy, dense, kind of thick energy period at the moment. We're all kind of surrounded by these kind of dark and nefarious energies, that are encouraging an awful lot of fear, uncertainty, doubt. It's not an easy time. It's not an easy time to be a human living on Earth. It's unprecedented times. It's not something any of us would have ever kind of imagined or realised. And I know for many, it's causing a bit of a struggle. It could be mentally, emotionally, even physically. It's throwing up an awful lot of questions, very understandably. What we classed as normal is definitely not normal at the moment. But what I think we need to really remember, as much as these kind of dark and nefarious energies are around us and the media, the media is awful for it, promoting and scaremongering fear and uncertainty and doubt and really kind of almost trying to frighten people. We need to remember that there is a beautiful juxtaposition going on at the moment. That if we choose to look at it in this way, the real good in mankind and in humanity is shining through as well. From very little tiny, what would appear tiny gestures, such as people checking on their neighbours, phone calls to people perhaps you haven't spoken to in a while, just checking in on them, making sure they're okay. People giving gift bags, thinking of others, to simple kind of fun community things where it might be a quiz online, or I've seen videos on Facebook there of like driveway Zumba and balcony discos and all sorts of these lovely, wonderful things where people are just determined to lift each other up, keep each other going, keep positive. So in amongst all of that stuff up there that's like a big black cloud hanging over us, there's lots of lovely, simple beauty as well. And I think we kind of also have to think about how we're changing. We're changing as people, as a race, as a collective. We're really starting to question now what previous generations have just accepted. We're challenging authority, we're challenging the structures of society, of life as we know it. We're going forwards, kind of questioning whether actually it's been for our highest good. Like, there's a lot going on at the moment. Times are very quickly and rapidly changing, and it's an awful lot for people to take on. And I can imagine it's very overwhelming for many. And I think we have to be really kind to ourselves and to each other, because in many different ways, people are really feeling this. It's going to show up in each of us in a totally different way, because we're all individuals, we're all different, we all have a different background, a different home life, and different things like that. So it's going to manifest in totally different ways. And so I just want to run through a little bit of a list of ways in which the energies actually might be affecting you at the moment, things that might be happening with you that you are perhaps not even aware could be related to kind of the collective energies around you. So, I mean, an obvious one for anybody that's kind of maybe slightly tapped into energy would be that you may feel heightened anxiety, or your depression may have been triggered over the last couple of months. For some of you, you may have felt very restless. For others, fearful. Other people have actually kind of experienced it on the flip side and have perhaps felt more calm, more peaceful than they have in a long time. It's perhaps taken them out of that rat race that they were in, that perhaps wasn't working for them. You might find actually you swing between the two, that you're having mood swings, and you're literally, one minute you're up here, then you're down there, and there seems to be no rhyme or reason to it. You might feel like you're absolutely on a roller coaster. You could be brilliant for a couple of days and then wake up one morning and just feel moody and rubbish and yucky, and you just don't really know why. You might find you're feeling a bit more impatient about things, your tolerance levels are lower, maybe snapping a little bit more easily, whether it's at family, the kids. Again, that could come down to the fact that we're all kind of squished up on top of each other for weeks and weeks on end. So, we kind of have to take all that into consideration as well. You may be feeling completely and totally exhausted, like bone tired, exhausted, achy body, just soul weary. You could be absolutely on the flip side. You could feel energized, overactive, wired. Or, which isn't the best combination in the world, you could be a little bit of both. You could be bone tired, exhausted all day, fall into bed, desperate to go to sleep. You just wait for your head to hit the pillow. And then your mind's wired. You're wide awake, you're vivid dreaming, and you wake up in the morning thinking, what was that? I was so tired. Why could I not sleep? I have to put my hand up. That's kind of been me, especially the last few weeks. Exhausted, like bone weary tired. But the dreams I'm having are just crazy. You might be then also getting headaches, vertigo, that spinny kind of where your head spins, and there's no kind of rhyme or reason. You maybe never had it before, but you'll just get a couple of days where you just feel sort of spinny and heady. For some of you, you might find your vision goes a little bit blurry, on and off. You also might find, and some of you might be a bit more aware of this than others, that perhaps if you're outside or you're in nature, even at home as well, but you're looking around and all of a sudden the world seems much more 3D to you than normal. And I know that sounds kind of a weird one, but you just might find the colours look more vibrant, or things look like they have more of a distinct shape. Be interesting to see kind of what people think on that one and whether they've experienced that. And this can kind of come down to now being at home as well, but you may have found you've got a drastic increase in appetite, but you also may have had a decrease in appetite and just not hungry at all. Or you might find that you end up with certain cravings for certain foods that may go on a couple of days or even a couple of weeks. And then for others of you, you could get a churning stomach. It's like a washing machine going round and around and around. So you don't know why, it's uncomfortable, there's niggles, it literally just feels like it's churning. For others of you, it literally might then present as an upset stomach. Kind of then going more on to your emotional and your spiritual layers, You may have found over the last couple of months that things that once seemed very certain, things that you could be sure of, suddenly have just come to an abrupt ending out of nowhere, or it appears out of nowhere. Things that you took for granted, that seemed normal, that seemed standard, that were part of life, suddenly just came to an end, stopped. You might find that you're questioning life, that you're questioning your life purpose. Actually, what do I want? Am I happy? What do I want out of life? Am I kind of satisfied with my job, with my home life? What do I want for my long-term goals? What satisfies me on a soul level, not just on a physical or a monetary level? And you really might have also found old wounds, old memories, old experiences surfacing. And that can be really, really painful and confusing, especially if it's something you felt that you've really worked hard on, that you had buried, suppressed, forgotten about, let go. And you're just kind of going, well, where has this come from? The time has been unprecedented, and it has made many of us stop. So we can't hide now behind this kind of crazy busyness that we as a society pride ourselves on. And when we stop, it kind of allows our feelings to catch up with us, our past and our memories and everything to catch up on us. So anything that is coming up at this time, anything that's rising to the surface, any kind of old triggers, wounds, suppressed emotions, suppressed feelings, try where you can, instead of kind of pushing them back down, to actually sit with them. Sit with them, try and acknowledge them. Try and forgive where you can. I know it's not always easy, definitely isn't easy, but where you can, try and forgive yourself and forgive others, and remember it's the past. We can't go back. The past can actually hurt us now. We're in the present. Help yourself to try and heal where you can. If you need to seek help, definitely do. But where you can, allow these things to come up and to clear and transmute and to heal. A good way of kind of maybe looking at them is old injury flares. You know, if we haven't been looking after ourselves properly, we've been neglecting ourselves, or we've been pushing ourselves too hard, old injury flares come up. You know, they flare up. They're basically saying, right, you need to stop. You need a little bit of TLC now. Come on, just pause, take a moment, start taking care of yourself again. So yeah, be very, very, very gentle with yourself, especially if this is the case for you. You also might find that you are cutting cords. You might find that you're cutting cords with people, situations, places, things that don't sit right with you anymore, that leave you feeling uncertain, that leave you feeling lacking or unworthy, or that hurt you time and time and time again. Things that perhaps previously you kept chasing, thinking you might fix it, that you might make it better, that it might improve over time if you just keep pouring your energy into it. You might suddenly be going, actually, do you know what? I can't do it anymore. I literally cannot do it anymore. And you just go, enough. And you just take that metaphorical step back. You remove your energy from the situation, the person, the thing that is causing it. And for those of you that are perhaps still battling that, just try it and just see if you can feel that release, that weight come off your chest, off your shoulders, off your back. It's the biggest breath of fresh air and the biggest sigh, just to feel that weight gone of constantly maybe chasing acceptance that you're never going to get, or chasing something that is constantly unfulfilling because it's outside of yourself. I think we're gaining, as a collective as well as individually, I think we're actually gaining more of a sense of who we are, who we want to be, who we want to be moving forward. We're getting to know ourselves, sorry. Yeah, you're getting to know yourself. And you're wonderful, you're lovely. If you give yourself the time to get to know you, you're wonderful. And so that kind of gives you a bit of an idea of the things you might be experiencing or going through at the moment. And you may or may not have attributed some of that to this kind of mass chaotic energy that's going on in our physical lives as well as our energetic lives. But it might just help you to know you're not actually going bananas. Because you can, if you kind of don't realise and tap into maybe what is going on is a collective around us, you can feel very alone, you can feel very isolated, you can feel very cut off and wonder what on earth is actually happening to you and why. And some of you may have been feeling some of this, some of you may be feeling a lot of it, some of you may have been feeling none of this. None of it is right or wrong. However we are experiencing, feeling things at the moment, just allow it to be. We are in a mass time of change in so many ways, individually, collectively, nationally. I think our universal structure is going to really change. So many questions are being put out there. And so just let yourself just be. Don't be panicking about making plans. Don't be panicking about what is being done or isn't being done, or doing enough or not doing enough, or not being busy enough or unbusy enough. Just allow yourself just to be. Allow this time, because the likelihood is we won't get time like this again. And there's an awful lot in this time that we can embrace. So really what I'd like to reiterate with you all is that much of what you might be feeling at the moment isn't necessarily yours. Especially if you're very sensitive or empathic or intuitive and you kind of feel what other people are feeling, you might be absorbing collective energies. You might be picking up mass fear from your social media, from the telly, from the radio, just from the general energy around us. So what you're necessarily carrying isn't necessarily yours. You could be picking up on the energy of those around you, even within the family and friends, just messages. It's kind of crazy out there at the moment, and people are feeling all over the place and trying to make some semblance of sense on kind of what is going on and how they are feeling and how they are navigating things. So that's definitely something for you to consider. Is what you're feeling yours? If it is, that's great. You can bring it up to, clear, transmute, heal. If it's not, be sure to ground yourself, cleanse yourself, and just let it go. Know that it's not yours. It's not what you're carrying there, and what you're feeling is not yours. And one last little kind of analogy, thought process, as you've probably all gathered by now, I kind of love my analogies. In this time that we're in, at this present moment, this kind of cocoon, this fog, this bubble, like we were saying before, just let yourself be. Let yourself be. Don't be planning to be too busy. And remember that butterflies grow their wings when they are in isolation, when they are in their cocoon. And sorry, there's a fly that's been buzzing around. Obviously it knows I'm trying to, talk to you guys here. So it's kind of been flitting in front of the screen there. But remember that butterflies grow their wings while they're in isolation. But it's also through challenging times that we as individuals, and I think we will as a collective as well, will grow wings that we didn't even know that we were capable of having and that we will get to soar. So I hope this video has maybe just given you a little bit of clarity on perhaps what you're experiencing, what you're feeling. It's a little update really from the previous video. But I'd just like to say to you all, take care and be gentle, and I'm sure I'll post again soon. Okay, thank you ever so much for taking the time to listen. Thank you.